Monster RX93.1. All right, monsters, you guys are still locked into Soundtrip with me, Kayla. But at this point, we aren't just listening to the music. We're actually joined by one of our artists that we play here on Soundtrip. Yes, they are currently with us. They are here in Manila. We are talking about no one other than Prep. Hey, guys.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Woohoo! Welcome to Manila. I mean, how has it been so far? Did you just arrive today?
We got in last night, and it's been pretty hot, but lovely, you know, amazing and sunny.
Yeah.
Been out in it too much, but no, it's so good to be back.
Awesome, yeah, because the last time you guys were here was actually in 2022, right?
Yeah, I think it was, yeah.
Okay, and I mean, you know, coming back this time, was there anything you guys were looking forward to coming back to? Like any food, any places that you enjoyed last time?
Oh, I mean, the food is amazing. We just had like breakfast here, and that was like on another level. We, some good beans, really amazing. Yeah, some great food. And the fans, you know, we're kind of just so pumped to play the show.
The singing.
The singing is going to be epic. Always is.
Unique fans in the Philippines.
I'm kind of happy to see a bit more of Manila, because I feel like Manila's a city that gives you, it kind of reveals itself slowly. Like at first, it's hard to understand, but like last trip, we started to see some cool places and stuff. And I feel like as you get to Manila, the cooler it gets. So yeah.
It's our first time
for sure. And
Our second time.
Second time.
Yeah.
Second time, yeah. I mean, you know, aside Manila, there are so many beautiful beaches. Do you guys have time to explore and go around as well? No,
it's such a shame. Every time we come here, you just see those pictures of people out. Like,
yeah.
Beaches, around those islands. We need to do that sometime.
White sand beaches.
Yeah, I mean, like paradise.
Yes.
And we've never done it. Next time.
Okay. Yes, next time. Don't worry, the beaches aren't going anywhere. They will be waiting for you guys whenever you come back next. But I mean, okay, so, you know, like going forward to now, you guys will be having your concert tonight. And I mean, just, I guess, kind of reflecting back on your journey when you guys began in 2015, how has that journey been throughout the years? Can you believe it will be your 10th anniversary already next year?
No,
Yeah, crazy.
really not.
Crazy.
Like it goes in a flash, you know. But it has, it's been like every time we come here, there's been this really kind of unique energy to things, and we really felt like right from the very first show, the crowd's just jumping. It's been amazing. As you know, the rooms have got bigger and the stages have got bigger, but it's still always got that energy, and it's it's a real thrill to play here every time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're very excited to be having you guys back. Now, I mean, going back to the year of 2015, when you guys first got together, I mean, all of you come from such different backgrounds. How did you guys come together, and how did you guys know that, oh, this could work, even if, you know, we all have very different backgrounds? What was that moment that you guys were like, you know what, we could be a band, we could make music together?
Well, it started with, I think, basically with a conversation Guillaume and I had just in, you know, on a cold, dark night in a pub somewhere.
Okay.
Actually, kind of Guillaume, myself, and Dan sort of had like sort of connections to each other, but I don't think we'd ever really properly worked with each other. And I spoke to Dan and Guillaume, and they both started talking about like really sort of similar sort of music they loved and stuff like that. And so we thought as a trio, okay, let's meet up, make something, see how it goes. Just go to the studio one day, basically, and just see. And it sort of just clicked pretty much straight away. Like that first day, we wrote like the beat for the song that became Futures. And pretty soon after that, we wrote like the beat for Cheapest Flight, and like in the first 2 sessions. And then Tom and Dan had also been working together on sort of separate kind of stuff.
Yeah, Tom and I were making music with other artists, like Tom as a songwriter and me as a producer. And Tom always, as a songwriter, you're singing in the room and you're getting involved with the artist and helping them find melodies and stuff like that. And Tom always had such a great voice that it was only and he'd also been an artist as well in previously. So it was only a matter of time, I think, before he started singing on his own music and being an artist again. So it ended up being a band and not a solo project, which worked out well.
Yeah, it started with the music, which is, I think that's not like any other like project I've ever been involved with, where it's always, for me, it's always been like, you know everyone really well, and then you start thinking, oh, maybe we should do something together. Like, yeah, I heard the beat for Cheapest Flight before I'd met Guillaume and Llewellyn, and in fact, and that song was pretty much finished before we met.
Yeah.
We kind of made that song with, yeah, these guys sort of did their thing, and then I sang on the top of it like another day, and then we knew that was really special, that song, and so that was really the beginning of it. I think, it clicked in musically. And then thankfully we got on.
Whenever I met for the first time, it was like to discuss, hey, this song's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, I mean, in terms of like the process, like ever since then, what has the process been like? Is it always the music comes first and then the lyrics come? Are you guys always in a room all together when you guys make music, or does that happen where, the music comes first and then you kind of send it on over to you guys to come up with lyrics for it?
Quite a long time, we were never in the same room all at the same time. Like for the first probably 6 or 7 years, it was kind of done in these sort of blocks and stages.
We would write the music and take it to a pretty complete stage, and then that's when you hear it. And
yeah, which again is like unlike any kind of like band music that I've ever done before. It's quite a kind of like when writing for other people, I feel like I've worked like that quite a lot, where there's a track and it has no singing on. It's kind of pretty much there, and you see what melodies and lyrics you kind of want to fit over the top. But working like that as a band, this was a first for me. But yeah, like for years, that's how it worked. There'd be these like songs without any singing on, which I love, because I got to hear these things which just instantly took me to a place. I'm singing kind of on top of something which sounds like it sort of already kind of could be coming out. It's not just like sort of sketchy piano chords or feeling around on a guitar. Real thing that gives you a sense of the atmosphere and where you want to go with the writing straight away.
Having said that, for this latest bunch of songs, we did things very differently, and we started off all together in a studio in London, writing like every day as a quartet, which is kind of different for us actually.
And I mean, okay, I was gonna just touch on, when you get the music and then you're able to write on it, like what advice could you give songwriters that might just be, getting started and they might feel overwhelmed when they hear the music and don't really even know where to begin? Is there any advice that you could give up and coming songwriters on that?
I think like one really important thing I found is not to worry too much if you think it sounds like something else, because I think that's how you find your own thing, is by doing things where you are kind of, what else can you do really but follow patterns that you're already kind of familiar with. And one of the things that can really kill the energy in a writing session is if you're like half an hour in, it's feeling really good, and then someone suddenly goes, oh, hold on, isn't this like, this is that other song? And you kind of, if you then go and listen to that other song, inevitably you find that actually it's not that other song. You've done something that's actually kind of completely different, but that maybe has some of the kind of ghost of that song in it, but is a really different thing. But at that point, the energy's just gone, because it's kind of like they've stopped just going with their instinct and they've started to second guess everything. So I think just trust your instinct, write stuff that feels good, and keep writing, like write a lot. That's the other thing. It really is like a kind of muscle, I think, where if you just get into the habit of doing it, then everything just flows more freely.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for that advice. On this program that we are currently playing your guys' interview, a lot of indie artists are currently tuned in, so I'm sure they'll draw lots of inspiration from that. But I'm going to actually go forward to your guys' most recent track that you released with Thai artist Getaway, Fum Viferit. I hope I said his name correctly. But yeah, so going forward to that track, how did that come to be? I mean, amazing, a London-based group like you guys made a track with a Thai artist. How did that come to be?
it happened in Bangkok because we were on tour and we were already like in touch with Poon because we, you know, really like his stuff, and he's got this very particular voice that, yeah, really kind of like chilled and like kind of mellow, and we thought it could work really well to get together. So yeah, it kind of, the stars aligned, and we were in Bangkok where he's from, and he wasn't on tour, so yeah, we just had this afternoon, beautiful studio. I'm like, Bangkok's quite an intense city, but he'd found a studio that was like, I think it belongs to a band called Plastic, who are like another really good Thai band. And this lovely glass building surrounded by like green gardens and plants. It was just like the most beautiful place to spend an afternoon. And Dan had started an idea. Was it on a plane or like, you know, it was a kind of little sketch. So we had that to start with, and everyone just loved it and was feeling it straight away. So
it was one of these things where it just worked instantly. You know, we met, we got on, music pretty much wrote itself, and I think most of the track was done in that one day. Then we spent a year with the small details, obviously, but yeah, most of the writing was done in a day.
Yeah, it's very smooth, very quick.
Amazing. And I mean, okay, fast forwarding to now that you guys are here in the Philippines, is there a chance that you guys would ever want to collaborate with a Filipino artist on a song?
Oh, we're always up for like collaboration. We're very open to it, and it's it always kind of goes well for us. I think it's, you know, we have a really strong sense of what prep is and what it sounds like and the kind of atmosphere that it sits in, but it's like always a good experience to have that stretched a little bit and have someone else come in and do their thing. And you know, it's really fun as well. You think you've kind of finished a record and then you send it to someone else and they kind of twist it. It's that's always a cool experience. And yeah, we just had great things happen whenever we've done it. So yeah, 100%.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's, I mean, definitely something exciting and something all of us Filipino fans could look forward to. Now, speaking of your Filipino fans, everyone is so excited for your show tonight. What can everyone look forward to?
I mean, it's going to, you know, shows here always really go off. So, you know, we know that there's going to be like so much energy in the room, and we've got a whole new set of visuals that this amazing guy we've been working with in London has done for us. And the idea is that they really are going to kind of bring you inside the world of the prep artwork, which we know the fans really love, and it's felt like a really good idea to just try and, you know, envelop people in a kind of a prep world that goes beyond just the music.
And they're going to be hearing some new songs that we're performing for the first time on this tour, including Getaway, obviously. I mean, as kind of we said, like, we love like how everyone loves singing, because I think people love karaoke here, and so it's a great feeling when the audience is singing back. So I'm really looking forward to hearing that. Hoping some people are singing along with Getaway as well, and
And also, I mean, you know, you mentioned the artwork. Love all of your, you know, album art, your single art. It's just so simple and beautiful. Can you kind of explain a little bit how the process goes on creating your album art or the single arts?
Yeah, so we've worked from the beginning with an artist called Sam Coldy, and we sort of had a lot of different ideas for what it could be like at the beginning of, like, thought it could be photography, for example, and then kind of settled on this like kind of digital kind of look, but kind of creating like a world, like a city maybe, and now that's expanded and there's kind of areas outside the city, and so it's kind of like the prep world basically. So generally, we'll send Sam the song lyrics, the title, and any kind of words from the song that sort of jump out, and any kind of images that jump out, and then he'll just generally produce like a whole bunch of different ideas, like sketches, and then we pick like 2 or 3 to move forward and eventually kind of find the right image.
Spend weeks tweaking them.
Well, then it's like finding the colors. The right colors is always like,
this is the wrong kind of blue.
Yeah.
We need a different.
Yeah.
But it's true. with a painting or a photograph, actually, doesn't it? And I think you can kind of, it feels like they kind of almost go through a similar process as the music does, like kind of taking something that's kind of, quite real, like, whether it's a kind of, a painting or a photo or something, and then turning it into something that has this kind of neon kind of wash over it. I feel it kind of that relates really closely to the music, actually, where it tries to take sometimes quite kind of, melancholy stuff and then give it this kind of sheen of groove and, kind of high production.
Mm-hmm. I mean, okay, speaking of groove, I've been seeing on your guys' socials, if I'm not mistaken, you're going to be releasing another song very soon here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tomorrow, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In Manila. This will be the launch pad for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's called Call It, and it features this singer that we all love called Eddie Chacon, who we wrote the song with in LA like last year as part of the kind of process of gathering everything together for the record. Yeah, it was amazing. Getting in the studio with him was a really great day to be in prep. That was a really special one.
Yeah, Eddie's a really amazing guy, and I think we all felt very inspired by him. He was obviously this kind of huge sort of pop star, and then but now has chosen to release very sort of personal music, which is, he's not kind of trying to sort of just play off the stuff he did previously. He's carrying on moving forward, and I think we find that quite inspiring.
He's making really underground records now compared to all these 90s pop.
I guess we might need to explain. In another lifetime, he had a huge hit in the UK particularly, but also in Europe under the name Charles Lady. And this was for people of a certain generation in the UK, everyone knows that song. It was huge, but so many years have passed now, and he's doing his own thing. He's just being a really cool guy. He's so cool.
We had a magical session. We met him in the morning, and he was really lovely and relaxed and open and friendly to us. And the song wrote itself in a day from nothing, from just introducing ourselves. And 4 hours later, we had a song that is 90%
pretty much
one
exactly
that
what it is
is
now,
coming out. It's one of those magical moments that really you spend a lifetime owning your craft so that a day like this can happen, basically. Where just suddenly everything just works.
Because it doesn't happen every time.
It definitely doesn't happen. No.
I can imagine. Actually, I was going to ask as well, how do you guys know when a song is done? When can you put the stamp on it and just put it aside knowing that it's done?
Funny, because we spend a long time writing, obviously if you look at how long the band's been going and how much music we released, it's not a huge amount, and so because we spend so much time on the song. However, having said that, I think we all know when a song is done. Don't you reckon?
Yeah, I do. I think I love the fact that we spend as long making things right as we do, because again, in a lot of projects, they don't really have that luxury. There's a sense of kind of rush, and you've got to meet a particular deadline. But we really do sit with things, step away from them. You come back, you kind of just hear those couple of little things that just slightly annoy you and that you want to correct. And you do that a few times over the course of a few months, and then suddenly it just feels right and it's balanced and correct. There's the odd one also where I think we realize it's done because it kind of sits feeling kind of the same for a bit, and then there'll be a kind of rush of energy where the production gets flipped or something. Suddenly some new sound comes in and feels like it completely changes everything, and everyone's kind of energized by that, and it's this is great now, kind of ready to go.
Yeah, the song Line by Line sounded quite different for a while. It was probably 2 years. It was just sitting there on a hard drive, and then I remember when Dan and Guillaume put this kind of steady kind of chord idea in, and then suddenly became what it is now. Pretty quick.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, it's fair to say that good things take time sometimes instead of just, rushing it. But I mean, there are certain circumstances that it just gets finished in a day as well. So it goes either way. But I was going to ask as well, with social media, TikTok and everything blowing up and music being used on reels and everything, do you guys feel the pressure to adjust to whatever the trends are, or are you the type to just really, stick to your roots and whatever you guys want to produce, that's what you stick to?
I think it's more of the latter. Yeah. We've been doing what we do for long enough to kind of know that things come and go, and that, if you've got if you're making music that really connects with people, and you've got fans who kind of, want to hear what you're doing and want to come to your shows, and, if you can keep that relationship going, and that's more important than any kind of like flash in the pan success, social media, whatever it is. The long-term stuff really is just about being true to what you do and making a real connection with the people who get your music and want to come see you.
Yeah, because I think we don't want to sort of modify the music in any way to fit with that. For example, like as it was, like our cover, I had a kind of viral moment on TikTok, and so we are sort of present there, and we are kind of, we do think about it, like and short content and stuff, but the actual music itself I don't think should be affected by that. Maybe just the way you sort of spread the music out into the world.
And I mean, you mentioned in terms of what your fans want. Now, of course, so many fans all over Asia. How does that feel for you guys? Being based in London and knowing that people all the way in Asia just love you, and listen to your music as often as they do. How does that feel? And if you could maybe also share just a message to all of your Asian fans, especially those that are here in the Philippines.
I think we all feel incredibly lucky to have such an incredible fan base. And it happened very naturally, I think it's fair to say. We just put music out and it seemed to kick off on this side of the world. And it's a feeling of extraordinary luck.
I mean, it's really, it was kind of extraordinary and kind of mind-blowing when we first realized it was going on, because it kind of happened very early on, actually. We hadn't really left London as a band, we hadn't really played any shows.
We
played maybe once in London. We had one go at it in London maybe, and then we were kind of asked to come and play like festivals I think the first place we went was Indonesia, but then it wasn't very long after that we kind of got to the Philippines and played here. And you can't really ask for anything else as a musician, to kind of make stuff, put it out into the world, hope that it's going to connect somehow, and then to find it has, and hear these crowds, fly out, meet them, play for them, and it just feels incredible.
There was a time like not long ago where if what you didn't sort of necessarily align with fashions in your own country, that would be the end of the project, but there's a natural kind of movement and a fashion, or I don't know what it is, that in this part of the world to our kind of sound. And there's also, that's why a lot of these collaborations happen. There's bands that just we were just in Taiwan with a great band there who make similar stuff, and there's potential collaborations, and it's all just naturally going on in this part of the world. But we are from London, we live quite far away.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess it's safe to say, for any other artists that might kind of feel that maybe their music isn't making it big in their home base, you never know who it could reach, on the other side of the world, who can relate to it and who will love it as well. But if there was a message that you guys have for all of your Asian fans, especially those here in the Philippines and those that will be watching you guys in your concert tonight.
I mean, thank you. You know, it's been the most amazing trip for us, and you guys always bring it to the shows. And yeah, so we can't wait for tonight. Really, it's going to be another amazing one, I'm sure. And we're just so grateful for all the support, really, because it's why we keep doing what we do. Is you know, for you guys and what you bring to it. So yeah, thank you.
And you know, we've got a lot of new music now coming very soon. So stay tuned. It's happening.
Awesome. All right. Thank you guys so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. And we're very honored to have you here on Soundtrip on the Monster. So once again, to everyone that is currently locked in, we just want to thank Prep for being here on Soundtrip. Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Yes.